Meghan Markle once again finds herself at the centre of speculation. But this time, the tone of the conversation reveals something very important about how far she has come and how intentionally she is shaping her future. Reports suggesting Meghan may release a new book next year have sparked the usual tabloid frenzy, with predictable assumptions that it would be a tell-all memoir aimed at reopening old wounds. But according to those who have observed her evolution closely, that expectation may be completely off the mark. What stands out immediately is that this narrative is not about scandal or revenge. It is about growth strategy and self-definition. Former royal butler Grant Harold has suggested that if Meghan does release a book, it is far more likely to align with her expanding lifestyle brand rather than mirror Prince Harry's deeply personal memoir. And that distinction matters because it highlights the very different ways Meghan and Harry process their experiences and share their stories. For years, critics have insisted that Meghan is waiting to unload secrets or reignite controversy. Yet time and again, she has shown restraint, even when silence cost her dearly. Instead of capitalizing on pain, she has focused on building something sustainable, meaningful, and aligned with who she is. A lifestyle-focused book, whether a cookbook, wellness guide, or creative companion to her Netflix series, would not be a retreat from her past, but a declaration that she refuses to be defined by it. Grant Harold's comments underline a reality many overlook. Meghan has already spoken about her experiences. She has addressed them thoughtfully in interviews, podcasts, and public conversations. She has shared enough to clarify her truth without turning her life into a spectacle. Choosing not to write a memoir at this stage is not avoidance. It is agency. Meghan Markle has lived an exceptionally interesting life long before joining the royal family. Actress, advocate, philanthropist, wife, mother, and entrepreneur are all chapters of her story. But not every chapter needs to be revisited in detail for public consumption. In a culture that constantly demands emotional access, Meghan choosing to pivot toward creativity, nourishment, and lifestyle is quietly radical. Her Netflix series, With Love, Meghan marked a significant shift in how she presents herself to the world. Rather than reacting to criticism or addressing controversy, the series focused on warmth, food, community, and joy. It showed Meghan in her element, curating spaces, sharing recipes, and celebrating connection. The positive reception of the show proved there is a strong appetite for this version of Meghan, one that centres creation rather than conflict. The launch of her company, as ever, further reinforced this direction. From gourmet spreads to chocolate to thoughtfully curated homeware, As Ever reflects Meghan's long-standing interests in food design and mindful living. This is not a sudden reinvention. Those who followed her early blog years recognize the continuity. Meghan is returning to a space she has always loved now with greater resources and reach. A book that extends this lifestyle vision makes complete sense. Whether it takes the form of a cookbook filled with personal anecdotes or a wellness guide rooted in balance and intentionality, it would be a natural evolution of her brand. It would also allow Meghan to control the narrative in a way that feels authentic rather than reactive. It is also telling that Harold suggests the royal family may welcome this direction. That detail exposes an uncomfortable truth. When Meghan focuses on creativity and entrepreneurship, she is framed as safe and acceptable. When she speaks about her experiences, she is labelled divisive. This double standard has always existed, yet Meghan has not allowed it to dictate her choices. She simply moves forward. Prince Harry's memoir was his story to tell, and he told it on his own terms. It was raw, emotional, and necessary for his healing. Meghan choosing a different path does not diminish that. Instead, it highlights how partnership works. They do not have to mirror each other. They support each other's individual journeys. The assumption that Meghan owes the public a tell-all book reveals more about the audience than about her. There is a persistent expectation that women, especially women who have endured public harm, must endlessly explain themselves. Meghan has already done the emotional labour. She has clarified misconceptions, defended her character and spoken her truth. At some point, the healthiest choice is to stop reliving trauma. Her focus on lifestyle is not frivolous. Food, wellness and home are deeply connected to identity, culture and care. By sharing these aspects of her life, Meghan is offering something constructive. She is inviting people into spaces of comfort and inspiration rather than outrage. The idea that Meghan is too busy for a memoir also rings true. She has had an exceptionally full year, releasing multiple series of With Love Meghan while launching As Ever and continuing philanthropic work through Archewell. She is a hands-on mother and a global figure, navigating complex security and public pressures. Writing a memoir is an immersive, emotionally demanding process. Choosing not to undertake it now is an act of discernment. Age is also worth mentioning. At 44, Meghan is in a phase of life where forward momentum often feels more compelling than retrospection. She is building, not revisiting. She is investing energy into projects that will grow with her rather than tether her to past conflicts. Critics may attempt to spin this as avoidance or image management, but that ignores the consistency of Meghan's actions. She has always emphasized values, purpose and impact. A lifestyle book can carry those principles just as powerfully as a memoir, perhaps even more so, because it reaches people in their daily lives. It is also important to recognize that Meghan not writing a tell-all deprives tabloids of the drama they crave. That in itself is a powerful statement. By refusing to engage in the cycle, she disrupts it. Silence and redirection become tools of self-preservation and empowerment. For fans who hoped for a memoir, disappointment may be understandable. But it is also worth asking why we feel entitled to every detail of someone's pain. Meghan has given enough. What she offers next should be guided by joy, not obligation. The speculation about a 2026 release date suggests that whatever Meghan is planning will be carefully timed and thoughtfully executed. She does not rush projects, she curates them. That patience has become one of her defining traits post-royal life. If a cookbook emerges, it will likely be more than recipes. Meghan has always infused storytelling into food. Meals become moments of connection. Ingredients carry memory and culture. A wellness guide could similarly reflect her holistic approach, balancing ambition with rest, public life with privacy. Ultimately, this conversation reveals how Meghan Markle has shifted the power dynamic. Instead of being chased by narratives, she is creating her own. Instead of reacting, she is building. Instead of reliving trauma, she is cultivating meaning. That may frustrate those who want conflict, but it resonates deeply with those who understand growth. Meghan does not need to write a memoir to validate her experiences. Her life and choices already do that. As ever, she moves forward with intention, creativity and quiet confidence. And that may be the most telling chapter of all.